Welcome, reality programmers. My name is Anne, and today I'm going to talk about the Shisa. And the Shisa are all about true divine time. The Shisa are the lion statues found all over Okinawa. They're in shops, they're in parks, and they're in private homes. I know it's been a long time since I've posted. I've been kind of busy. And as you listen to my story, you might get triggered by some things that I say, which not only indicates an entanglement, but will also activate a healing in an area that I don't cover in the revocations at the end of the video. So, in my opinion, awareness is really, really important. Awareness of all the shenanigans and the dark side of our reality is just as important as the love and light. Our realm is multidimensional, and there's a lot of love and light out there, but there's a whole mess of crap too. So most of you are here because you're wondering what the hell is going on in our world, and you have an interest in our holographic reality. I believe the nature of reality is holographic and programmed by our consciousness. We are reality programmers, and if we do not program our own reality, something else will and does. So it's really important to stand in your sovereignty and know who you are and your power. As we all awaken, we begin healing our spirit tree, the many expressions of ourselves that fell into darkness and forgot who they are and became mind-controlled minions of the bad guys. And I will post a link to my video about the bad guys below. It's important to understand who they are. So this awareness and healing of our dark expressions is a really important part of inner work. And these bad expressions, by healing them, we've been taking them out of the game. And what we have accomplished is huge. And I'm getting to it. But first, it's important to understand that we work in true divine time. It doesn't matter when you watch my videos, all time is one. So all the healing work we do is in all now moments. So a huge thank you to everyone who has watched my videos and followed my posts on Telegram and Facebook, and participated in healing themselves and taking out the bad guys. Because I believe we have all contributed to nothing less than creating a miracle. So I'm going to tell you a story of how this all unfolded for me, that leads up to the miracle. So for me, it all started about a month or so before Lionsgate, which was in August, when we took down the Freya dark magic that led to the exposure of so much that was cloaked. During Lionsgate, I was so busy with dimensional trench work. Dimensional trench work for me is where I use my psionic or psychic skills to work or battle, heal, unite tribes and lineages, do grid work, take out major predators or AI constructs, shut down portals, the list goes on. But I was so busy, I didn't really have time to make a video. But I was posting daily, almost daily, on my Telegram and Facebook. The links for my Telegram and Facebook are below, so be sure to read through those posts and do the revocations if you can. If you don't do the Freya dark magic revocations, from the beginning, you will not really take down the cloaking, which hides a lot of your contracts and other things. And not many psychics will be able to decloak what is hidden. So it's really up to you to revoke that dark magic and decloak things for yourself. So Lionsgate peaked on August 8, 8/8. And it didn't stop there for me. I was still dealing and healing. I was part of a team that was doing something unprecedented, and I knew this. I just didn't know what it was. but I knew it was huge. Um, I spent a lot of time dealing with attacks, including the death of my computer. It was only 1 year and 1 month old, so it was a month out of warranty, but it is what it is. I also got really slammed for posting the revocations for the Shisa, the lion guardians of Okinawa. I got really attacked for posting those revocations. So I actually took them down on my Facebook and Telegram, but they remained on my YouTube. Something stopped me from deleting those revocations on my YouTube community tab. They're there on my community tab. So it's still there and you can find them there. But deleting the Shisa posts did give me some relief. I could feel huge Shisa energies, and I just knew something big was about to happen. And I intuited that it was all about time or timelines. But all I got was so much pressure and attack. I was just being so slammed. It wasn't pretty. On towards the end of August, on the 23rd of August, I decided to go to Okinawa for a really well-earned 5-day vacation, beach vacation. I went with my friend Ai Futaki. She's a free diver, and I have an interview with her on my YouTube. So please watch that. It's a really fun interview. And so the minute Ai-san and I landed in Okinawa, we both started yawning, and we got in our rental car and we were driving up the coast to the northern part of the island where we were staying. It was about a 2 or 3 hour drive. And as soon as we got in the car and started driving up the coast, we both started yawning and tears were streaming out. It's not so much that we were crying, just tears, absolute flooded out. And Ai-san could hardly drive. And we both started laughing because we didn't really know what was happening. All we knew, we couldn't stop yawning. She was, we were both crying and she could hardly drive. She could hardly see where she's going because there were so many tears streaming out. It was really hilarious. So for me, yawning indicates a timeline shift, usually a timeline shift for the better. Tears indicate an emotional release, a release of trauma. And for me, a sneeze often indicates a release of restraints, etheric restraints like chains. So finally, we were wondering what the hell was going on. And then I started Googling, and I discovered that the coast we were driving along was the site of the bloodiest battle of the Pacific, World War II. The bloodiest battle in the whole Pacific of World War II, on this tiny, remote, seemingly insignificant island of Japan. The bloodiest battle. There were approximately 300,000 people, population at that time, and half or just under half of the estimated population died. So obviously we were connecting with a lot of trauma. We weren't just healing our expressions. It went a bit deeper than that. Okinawa, we discovered, was, the Battle of Okinawa was a massive blood ritual, as most war battles are. All wars and battles are scripted by AI for their agenda of domination and control. So what is important about Okinawa? The islands of Okinawa were originally the Ryukyu kingdom. And so I also believe that Okinawa was not a part of Japan originally. It was a part of Lemuria. And the Japanese call Lemuria Mu, the kingdom of Mu. So I kept getting really strong intuitive hits about time and timelines. And when I connect with time or timelines, it's always really, really heavy. And it's usually a whole mess of crap. Um, there were timelines, there were time loops for this Okinawa battle. Most battle sites I come across are time looped, where the battle plays over and over and over again, so that the AI can harvest this battle energy and nothing ever gets healed. And if we have expressions in these time looped battles, we have a constant source of trauma. So I released the time loop of the Battle of Okinawa and healed what I could. So we arrived at our rental house. We rented a house in a remote village in the northern part of the island. And in our rental house, there were Shisa everywhere. They were on the fridge, on the curtains, on the paintings on the walls, ornaments and statues in the garden. The house was filled with Shisa. And the owner of the house, our landlady, she lived next door. And we met her, and she was obviously mad about Shisa. She also had them throughout her home. And she invited us into her home, and she had like a massive statue of a Shisa in her living room. And as we were talking to her about the area, she was patting the Shisa. And then I just couldn't help. Normally I don't bring in my woo-woo psychic crap into the conversation with strangers, but I just couldn't stop myself. And then I started saying, well, actually, I'm psychic, and actually you have Shisa lineage DNA, and the Shisa want you to play music to them. This is the message I got. And she was so shocked as she was patting this stone statue of the Shisa. She said, oh, actually, I used to play my koto, which is like a Japanese stringed instrument. I used to play my koto for the Shisa, but I haven't done it for such a long time. She said, oh, but now that I know I have Shisa family, I'll definitely start playing my koto for the Shisa again. And she was just so happy. So that was really quite a funny incident. And I could obviously feel really strong Shisa energy around me at that time. And our landlady gave us Shisa moisturizing face masks. They made us look 10 years younger. So back to my trip, so-called holiday in Okinawa, which turned out to be more of a working holiday. So I had planned to visit the local castle in the area, but the energies were just so heavy. I decided not to visit. And then suddenly I became obsessed with souffle pancakes that are popular in Okinawa and Japan. And so I-san was busy Googling all of the nearby cafes, which have on their menu these souffle pancakes. I have to tell you, I was obsessed with them. And so she found a restaurant that had this souffle pancake 10 minutes away. Couldn't get in the car quick enough. So we get to this cafe to have our souffle pancakes. And it turns out it was a cafe and workshop to make your own shisa out of clay. So, you could have a cup of coffee with a souffle pancake while modeling clay into the shape of a Shisa. And then we found out that this cafe was also a part of a factory that made Shisa, from small Shisa to the larger statues. And that factory was about a 30-minute drive away. So we went to this big factory that made the Shisa. Well, the factory had closed down and was not there anymore. But lo and behold, 1 minute away from that closed factory, there happened to be a castle. So we found and walked around Nago Castle. It was a beautiful stone castle, beautiful geometry. And we walked around there, and Isan and myself could not stop yawning the whole time. Yeah, definitely some entanglements. Unicorn. Unicorn massacre. Wow. So there was this unicorn conflict. Unicorn, I want to say massacre. Massacre. It's like these islands were filled with unicorns. And they were massacred, taken off the timeline. And I think the Shisa are holding these timelines in these spheres. It's almost like the Shisa can protect a realm, or they can devour a realm if they're corrupted. But they can also imprison a realm. Something about time. God, time is so screwed up in Okinawa. Timelines. That's why you're feeling nauseous in your stomach. It's this timelines and these anchors of time.
Yeah, nausea in the heart part too.
Yeah. There's something really off about time here. And for sure, the Shisa are Time Lords, Time Guardians as well. There she goes, yawning again. Yeah, there's something about this, the number 8, the infinity symbol, and it's 2 realms or 2 portals linked together by dark magic. Kind of corrupts or fractures time-space and splits it in 2, and creates portals between the 2 to cycle, to loop realms, timelines, to loop 2 negative timelines intertwined with each other. No. Oh God, this is really heavy energy. Definitely battle energy here. There's definitely battle energy, and I'm just exposing all the scripting by AI so that both sides know, or all of those engaged in the battles, because there have been many in different time spaces, so that all players know that they were scripted. Therefore, there is only unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness to heal all conflict, resolve all conflict. So the next day, I was just focused on getting to the beach and finding more souffle pancakes. And just as we were about to leave the house, Isan told me that Nakijin Castle was just about 1 or 2 minutes away. Our rental house was actually on the same mountain as the castle. And I really decided not to go to the castle because the energies were so heavy and I didn't want to entangle or connect. But we ended up going to the castle there, and Nakijin Castle was a really beautiful and unique geometry, stone walls and castle. And as soon as we got there, Ai-san could not stop yawning the whole time. She had some connection with that castle, which we managed to tune into and heal. So that was really good. It was a key part of healing the Shisa dark magic. Okay, so we're sitting here at Nakijin Castle with Aifutaki. And it turns out she has a lot of DNA resonance with this island,
Right.
and this castle, so-called
And
castle.
this area?
And the area, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Oh. She's been yawning.
Yeah, I gonna drop the jaw some point.
yeah, I think her whole jaw is going to come off in a minute.
Oh.
She has not stopped yawning since we arrived.
Oh.
There she goes. And so here we are at Nakijin Castle, and it's very much connected to the Shisa. The Shisa are the
Guardians?
the guardians, the dog-like lion-like beings. They're all over the island statues.
Always the entrance of the house, entrance of the building.
Yep, always the entrance, and they're always in pairs. Always two of them.
Yeah.
So I wonder why that is. And often they have an orb or a sphere or a ball under their paw or in their mouths. What I read into that is that they are almost the timekeepers, the time guardians of the area. And this castle was a stargate, a star fort.
And actually there was the shape of the one part of the star.
Yeah, it's got very much a star shape. And the Shisa, I think it's a portal to their homeworld.
Right.
And somehow they're time guardians or timeline guardians. Many had been corrupted, and we're also healing a lot of Shisa energies, and we're repairing the corruption of time. And Ai-san has had a lot of jaw pain, and she keeps yawning, which is, the teeth are always timeline, indicates some timeline incursion or timeline problem. She's been yawning her head off.
Yes. Totally.
So it's been quite an adventure so far.
Yeah. And the Nakijin in Japanese character.
Oh, yeah. So Nakijin in the Japanese character, the Chinese character, means
Now. Return.
And return.
Divine.
And like a divinity, divine, royal. So it's basically the name of this village, and this castle, Nakijin, means a return to true divine time.
Which you were saying.
Which we just put together as we're driving here today. And for the past day, I've been saying this is all about time.
Yeah.
These Shisa are time lords or time guardians. We've got to heal the timeline. And I kept seeing unicorns.
Yeah.
We actually saw a big unicorn blow up boat in one of the bays, for children to play on.
And then later we saw the rainbow.
The rainbow.
In the ocean.
We were swimming at sunset and saw a rainbow. And you were saying, oh, it's the unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been very synchronistic.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And my nose, the Freya feathers, this nose, has not stopped itching. There's more coming out. Oh. Yeah. There's something more. Shisa, definitely. And they're always in pairs. They're
it's a twin soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're bound by contracts to negative timelines, and that needs to be broken. This binding spell needs to be broken, or there's some kind of dark magic that is binding false time somehow. Something about false time. I see a dark witch. Is that you? It's you. It's you again.
Whoops.
It's you. Oh. It's you. You are the shaman, the spiritual leader of... You are one of the spiritual leaders of this castle. Because it was a very divine feminine energy here. The men were not allowed at many of the sacred sites around here. It was all the women.
Woman-centered.
And you were one of these shamans. You were one of these women, an expression of you. And what happened to her? It's almost like she was taken out of time.
Oh?
It's almost like she was taken out of time into a portal. There is a massive portal here. Is it still open? What? Is it still open? Yeah. It needs auditing for sure. I just ground all energies to true divine time, because I am the current sovereign dominant self. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Some entanglements, and they're flying off. The entanglements are flying off.
I have a stomach. I want to vomit.
And there's some, a lot of the rituals in Nakijin, all of the rituals that are mentioned in all of the literature that I've read so far are always in August. August is their ceremony month, 8th, Lionsgate. So very much connected to Lyran energy, for sure. And this 8, this infinity loop, the 2 8s, I think this was Shisa, SKINSUIT, Shisa magic that was abused, corrupted, to give entanglement, bindings of entanglement. Yeah, something like that. How are you feeling? So what's happening with your shaman expression? Give her a big hug. The Shisa, they have the unique ability to look through time-space, unentangled, without entanglement. This is interesting. They have the unique ability to look, it's like remote viewing, to remote view unentangled, unseen. A lot of the times when you remote view, you're monitored, people can see you, you get tagged. It's really not safe at all unless you put up really good protocols. But even then, you can be seen or tracked back. And she's yawning like it crazy now. The Shisa have the ability, the unique ability to look through time-space, across time-space, unentangled. So that's something everyone should try to earn or trade for, because how handy is that, to be able to look through time-space, remote view anything and be unseen? And it will probably give you access to more as well. So that's a really good thing. So this is pretty cool. So we're kind of healing this shaman female. So a lot of her sacred magic, you know, these shaman women would take care of the sacred land, this star fort. Yeah. They would take care of its security. Yeah. They would take care of the water or the elements. And when they were, I want to say, enslaved by the AI, a lot of their healing magic and security magic was taken down and manipulated. And these abilities and these magics were stolen by the AI. So you want to be neutralizing all energies taken from you and used in ways which are not for your highest good. They're all neutralized now, for sure. That kind of felt good. And I have a feeling you have this unentangled observer technology, but it was being blocked. You have this ability, but it was blocked because, for some good reason, but I think you can get it back once you heal. She's yawning again.
The Nakijin Castle on the island of Okinawa is the Star Fort portal to the Shisa homeworld that seemed to be pretty important. And the Battle of Okinawa seemed to be the war to enslave the Shisa. So basically, Nakijin means a return to true benevolent time. Isn't that interesting? And that, I believe, is exactly what's happening. And we met an elderly lady who had a shop at Nakijin Castle, and it was a shop for Shisa that she made. She actually told us that although there are always two Shisa guardians, male and female nowadays, she told us it wasn't always so. She said that before World War II, there was only ever one Shisa. They didn't come in pairs. They were just single Shisa. And it was only after World War II that the trend became a pair of Shisa. And I did intuit that there was an abuse of twin energy with the Shisa. They were bound together, two Shisa were bound together with dark magic and an 8, the geometry of 8 infinity loop. And we did a lot of work on integrating and healing the abuse of this fracturing and splitting of their energy. And after a bit of research, I did find a very famous single Shisa that was not a part of a pair. The stone lion of Tomori is the oldest and largest existing stone lion in Okinawa, and it was created in 1689, so they say. And this is a very famous photograph of US soldiers during the Battle of Okinawa. And apparently the Shisa does have some bullet holes in it. And the old lady at the shop also told us that she believes the Sphinx in Egypt, in Giza, is also a Shisa. And that kind of triggered a download where I connected with the unicorn energy at Giza. I believe that the unicorns that were massacred in Okinawa, their bodies and energies were taken and stored under the Sphinx. It was a lot of trauma there too. And a quick digression. After we got back to Tokyo, the Shisa called me to visit Asakusa Temple Shrine. And there we found this pair of Shisa tucked away in a corner, in a shady corner. And they called out to me because they required a healing. There is an AI script to keep the Shisa pair in conflict, kind of like a husband and wife script of conflict. And it was also bound with a chain of 8. So basically, the Shisa called me to Okinawa to assist in healing and reclaiming their authorities and energies. But the bad guys threw so much dark energy at me. I was so reluctant. But when the Shisa wants something, they guide you with souffle pancakes. So on our last day, we decided to get some souffle pancakes, of course, close to the airport. And what do you think was literally 1 minute away from the souffle cafe? Another castle, Shuri Castle. And so we went there and walked around and did some healing. And of course, Ai-san could not stop yawning. And so mission completed, but she really was yawning the whole time. And here is the very famous picture of the US soldier raising the flag at Shuri Castle in Okinawa. A very sad day, not only for humanity, but for the Shisa, the unicorns, and many others. So the Battle of Okinawa was indeed a blood ritual, and I do believe it entrapped and enslaved a lot of Shisa energies there, which the bad guys usurped, and it gave them access to control our timelines no more. So before I tell you about the unprecedented miracle I believe we created, let's just recap what we actually did. So if you've been following me on my social media, Telegram and Facebook for the past few months, and it's not too late to participate in this great healing of your spirit tree for the Shisa and for our realm, because all the revocations, all we do is in true divine time, and all time is one. So it happens in all now moments. So I really believe what we did was legendary. We took down the Freya dark magic. We healed the worms and the gnomes and the Ra bird people associated with that magic. We neutralized and healed our crocodile, unicorn, octopus, and red sprite energies that were being abused in time-space manipulation. We neutralized some CERN and cyclotron time machines. We neutralized the Katy Perry 2014 halftime Super Bowl dark magic ritual. We exposed and healed our Anunnaki expressions. We healed some giant trees, elephants, dogmen, mantids, our Zeus, Syrian, and Lyran lineages, the short grays, vampires, the element radium. We stopped the piezoelectric abuse of our genetic material, our bones. We stopped the abuse of the magic of the number 8, Lionsgate, 8/8, 8th of August. we took out the 8 discs that were not only time looping us, but the Shisa as well. We audited and revoked the abuse of our energies used in 9/11, the fall of the Twin Towers in New York, which was a major timeline battle. And the magic geometry of the number 8 was also abused in 9/11. Dark magic corrupted the 8 to create infinity loops that would entangle 2 timelines or realms. And the 8s would be chained together to form an 8 chain. And this created massive chains of entanglement bound by dark magic in infinity. It would certainly take a miracle to unravel this. And in that 9/11 hairball of time entanglement, I found 8 loops that linked Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle, and other civilizations and other realms to 9/11. So it really was a hairball of entanglement. 9/11 was a dark magic ritual to keep not only this realm, but a lot of time space entangled in low density, domination, and control. It was a hairball of entanglement that did seem impossible to unravel and break free from. So revoking and taking back your energies from the 9/11 ritual was really important. This has been a huge and I believe unprecedented healing of our spirit tree, taking out a lot of the bad guys that were our expressions. So well done, everyone. And this is what we did this Lionsgate, connecting with the lions, the Shisa at Lionsgate. Unprecedented, huge. And that was to the end of August. And the Shisa were pretty happy about that. And then because of the healing that we all participated in, the Shisa went on a mission in full lion force to reclaim their authorities. So let me share my understanding of the Shisa. Their super abilities are amazing. Their paws with their feet, they can step into any time space. And their eyes can look into any time space without entanglement. They're like a super remote viewer. So, when you remote view something, you always get an entanglement. You've got to be really careful when you remote view. But the Shisa have this amazing super ability to remote view anything, anywhere without entanglement. They can't be seen. So that's a great super ability that, to have. And imagine if the bad guys stole Shisa energies. They would have access to remote viewing anything, anywhere, anytime. They would have the ability to step into any time space. And I believe this is exactly what happened. And as I was making this video, I kept getting painful pinpricks in my arm, like a needle was taking blood. And it led me to discover another super ability the Shisa have. Shisa blood has a unique stealth ability in that they can time travel without leaving traces or markers. So they can time travel with great stealth. I then got a message that the time cops have a really hard time to catch time travelers with stolen Shisa blood. Yes, time police do exist throughout the dimensions, so the bad guys can't get away with too much, but I do believe they are abusing time travel. The SSP, or Secret Space Program, is evident of that abuse. If you haven't heard of the SSP, you might like to research that. But it is important to audit our blood for shenanigans like this. And of course, be discerning and use protocols and revocations when you give or receive blood. And the Shisa are from Lyra. It's a lion lineage. So it's kind of no mistake that this surfaced for me at this Lion's Gate. The Shisa are often depicted with an orb under their paw. And apparently, according to Wikipedia, these are just jewels or baubles, jewels. Well, I believe these are the realms they protect. And look who else has an orb. Here is Queen Elizabeth, painted as so many royals in history are, holding an orb and a scepter. The orb is a realm. The queen is the keeper of the realm, or rather the controller of the realm. And as we are birthed into this realm, we are contracted to the queen, and she holds our contracts as the controller of the realm. Now, she doesn't hold all contracts for the entire world population, but certainly the majority. And so let's look at the coat of arms of royal lineages. The Queen of England's coat of arms is not the only one that has Shisa, but it might be the one with the most Shisa. You can see she has many Shisa on her coat of arms, along with a harp or lyre. Lyra, is that a link to the constellation Lyra, the Lyran root of the Shisa lion lineage? So it seems the bad guys have stolen and usurped a lot from the Shisa. And no wonder why they didn't want me posting the Shisa revocation. But too late, I did post it, and many of you did that revocation and will do that revocation. So this is enough momentum to create this unprecedented miracle, which I'm going to get to. And this is how important each and every one of you are. So what happened in early September? The Queen died on September 8th. Well, her official death was September 8th. I personally think she was taken out a couple of years ago, but her official death was September 8th. And with her death, a whole lot of contracts were released. She was the holder of many contracts for this realm and for timelines, and they were all released. So isn't that interesting? The Queen's official death on September 8th. We all know how much the Shisa love the number 8, 8, Lionsgate, Shisa energy. So I do believe that the Shisa have reclaimed their time authority, and I do believe they're calling the shots now. And the Shisa are all about true divine time. So the Queen's death on the 8th, there was no mistake about that. And of course, a few days after September 8th was September 11th, 9/11, the anniversary of the Twin Towers timeline battle that caused a massive hairball of timeline entanglements. The abuse of twin energy, the abuse of Shisa twin energy. It was a lot of Shisa authority and energy that was usurped and abused to create that 9/11 hairball of entanglement. And healing the Shisa triggered the healing of 9/11. And that is exactly what we did, all of us. So I'm really pleased to announce that I believe we took out 90% of the hairball entanglement of timelines of 9/11. Millions of negative timelines collapsed, uncreated. Millions. This means that there are now a lot more positive timelines available to you. And with this awareness, you can jump on them. And you've earned this. And this gives true divine time a lot more momentum. And this cannot be undone. And of course, there's 10% left of the 9/11 mess of crap that needs to be resolved. But that requires a very unique skin suitability, which I don't want to talk about. So the Shisa at this very moment are celebrating with souffle pancakes, I'm sure. And apparently the dogmen are too. So dogs and cats really do get along when we are on our best timelines. Someone made me say that. So now that the Queen is officially dead and the 9/11 timeline battle is unraveling, let's do our best to make the most of these new energies. I have reposted an updated version of my Shisa revocations, so please read them again. And although I've posted most of the revocations required for healing this 9/11 energy on my social media, today we're just doing a few revocations that are really key and really important to complete this healing. Now, let's do our best to jump on these great positive timelines that we earned. Let's go. Now let's open the session. I am the true, current, benevolent, sovereign, dominant self, and I open this session only to the true, benevolent, sovereign source of all source creators that I am. All I do is for my highest good alone. I mirror this across time, space, dimension, and expression where applicable for my highest good. I revoke all contracts, including consent and agreements, etc., that are not for my highest good, regardless of any other contracts, trades, or deals, etc. I remain in loving detachment to all beings in all ways required. I revoke and block any and all entanglement with this video, its content, and all energies linked to it. I revoke all abuse and corruption of magic and or geometry, including the Q, J, 17, 3, and 8. I revoke all time-space manipulation, including time loops, resets, and timestamps that are not for my highest good. I revoke all contracts, including agreements, trades, and deals of any nature with the Queen of England, King Charles, and all royal persons and lineages. I lovingly detach from them in all ways and stand in my full sovereignty in all moments. I revoke my involvement in battle energy and neutralize it in all moments. I lovingly detach and heal from all battle energies, including the Battle of Okinawa and 9/11. This includes my Shisa, unicorn, and human energies. I audit and revoke my entanglement with the Sphinx and reclaim and heal all of my energies stored there, including Shisa and unicorn energies. I remain in loving detachment to the Sphinx. I audit my blood and, regardless of consent of any nature, revoke any abuse, and I neutralize my blood where it is being abused in any way that is not for my highest good. I revoke and block the stealing or taking of my blood by trickery, coercion, deceit. Now let's close the session. No energy is abandoned, and all is resolved with unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. I revoke and release all restraints, including rings, chains, ties, bindings, etc. I release all trauma, pain, suffering, shame, blame, and guilt, and transmute all to light. I audit all energies and return all to the true source that I am, to be returned in true divine time to where they belong. I only keep and take back what is for my highest good through my true heart space. I recalibrate and align all energies to perfect harmony, including my frequencies, DNA, RNA, and Akashic. I revoke and block all chess moves against me, as I am in all moments in true divine time, backed by the true sovereign source of all source creators that I am. I am aligned with my best optimal timeline in all moments. I close this session and cut and revoke all entanglements that are not for my highest good. I don't think you can really underestimate what we have all contributed to do in these past few months. All of the people that have participated and that will or did participate in the revocations that I posted, I think really helped give momentum to healing these Shisa. And I think it was definitely a team effort. So I just really appreciate each and every one of you for watching and spending the time. And I know my videos are long. I think we're in a really good time space. I really do. I really did have a lovely time in Okinawa. I had lots of swims and the beaches were absolutely beautiful. And the northern part of the island was quite remote. And so we often had beaches to ourselves. It was really spectacular. And swimming in the ocean really helped me to heal and process these really heavy energies and deflect a lot of the attacks from the bad guys who were trying to stop us from healing the Shisa. So I really hope this has made you feel lighter and a whole lot less entangled. Thanks for watching.